Hey, NFers, we have a sponsor on the podcast this week.
Today's episode is brought to you by
80s Baby, 80sbaby.net. It's a pop culture nostalgia website created by Brooklyn comedian John Bilancini.
Oh, you mean John Bilancini from the podcast 1994, The Podcast, which I used to host?
Yep, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, John publishes a new article detailing some bit of pop culture ephemeria you probably forgot you loved. Thanks, that word's hard. Stuff like Pizza Hut's Book It program and a definitive ranking of No Fear t-shirts.
So, if you like remembering simpler times when your biggest concern was waking up in time to catch the Muppet Babies on Saturday mornings, check out 80s, baby.
That's http://EIGHTIESBABY.net or find it on Twitter at Nostalgia is a Drug. Oh shit, we don't have a theme song.
Oh shit, you're right. What are we gonna do?
I don't know, like, do we have time to buy something?
No, we just have to riff.
We're gonna just riff it?
Oh shit, it's the Nostalgic Front, a podcast from Patrick and Ream. We like movies, TV, and games, junk food, juice boxes, forgotten things.
Oh wow, that was adequate.
Yeah, that was, like, pretty good.
Yeah, are we just gonna use it for every episode?
I think we should. I think we have to.
Thank you for listening to The Nostalgic Front. I am the Brandon Ream, and with me as always is
The Patrick Hasty.
Hey, Patrick, how the hell are you?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm fantastic. Fantastic. You could even say fan-fucking-tastic.
Fan-fucking-tastic?
Yes, I fucked a fan.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Not an NFer, just a literal
You put your
ceiling
cock in
fan.
You put your cock in a ceiling fan?
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Not really.
No, that would have hurt. One time I was fucking around. I wasn't having sex.
Oh, no, it wasn't in the blade. It was just in the side of it. I don't know. I don't like this riff.
You want to start again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we are? No, I like it.
Okay, fine. One time I had a fan. I used to like taking the knob off, taking the blade off the fan, so that it was just like that little like circular power takeoffy looking thing.
Uh-huh.
And one time I did that, and I would play with that. I don't know why. I just like taking stuff apart. So you take the cage off, then you take the blade off, and it's just like a thing spinning, an engine spinning, and I'd tie strings to it and let it wrap up strings and stuff. But one time it fell into my chest and like drove into my chest. And I'm going to show you right now to this day.
Oh, he's taking his shirt off again.
To this day.
Podcast is officially started.
Do you see this? Like, I got that, there's a mole somewhere right here. Do you see it?
Listeners, do you see this?
There's a mole on my chest that is sliced in half because this drill drilled into it. It hurt.
Man.
Yeah.
I always liked trying to stop the fan by pressing the cover into the blade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like into the middle.
I like talking.
Or putting your finger in there and it'd get a little hot because you're trying to stop it.
I like talking into it and saying things like,
oh, yeah.
Like, Luke,
yeah.
Don't fuck your sister.
And he didn't.
Hey, well, that we know of. In one of the books, they get pretty close. Splinter of the Mind's Eye?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pre-canonized. That's not his sister.
No, Zahn, he was all about that shit.
Yeah.
He was always trying to get him to fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we're doing another one of those ones that we haven't named yet.
Unnamed
fun size word. You don't know what we're talking about. But the listeners know.
They do.
And I know. But you don't know, and that's exciting. How does it make you feel? It made me feel small and bad.
Antsy.
Oh, I like that. We got an update from Byte Force Anti-Malware. Something's loading up, so that's exciting.
It's all the internet is so anti-mall.
Yeah, I loved him.
They've killed retail.
I was thinking Darth Maul.
Oh,
the internet's pro Darth Maul. We love that guy. Can't get enough of him.
Mm-hmm. Especially Ben Wasserman.
Oh yeah, he fucking. If you guys aren't following a fella named, we got to have him on the show.
We do.
Ben Wasserman on Instagram just constantly posts this drawing.
I hope he's not anti-podcast.
No, this drawing of Darth Maul jacking his cock off, and it's huge. It's so fun. And Instagram gets mad at him and takes it down and blocks him, and he keeps reposting. Oh yeah.
A bunch of cock blocks.
Totally. Oh, I love it. Goddamn. Okay, so today we're doing an episode.
Yeah, I got this timer.
Now, I think this is something that we've talked about a handful of times. Mm-hmm. Okay? I don't know if we've ever... I know it's been referenced. I don't know where your brain is with it. I don't think you know a lot. But, I got notes.
Cool. I set a timer
right
now.
Okay, now, what we're talking about today, it was set in Brooklyn.
Oh, Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
You got it. It takes place between 1992 and 1995.
Oh, Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
It has Captain Lou Albino in it.
Oh, for real?
It also has Ahmad Rashad, Felicia Rashad, Dule Hill from Psych, Dr. Dre, the rapper from, Dr. Dre from MTV with his buddy Ed Lover, Spike Lee, Mark Lynn Baker, a.k.a. Cousin Larry, Daisy Fuentes, Harry Connick Jr., Sam Jackson. These are all guest characters in this thing. And in the pilot storyline, an X-Men arcade game plays a major background role. Do you have any clue what this is?
Set in Brooklyn.
Set in Brooklyn.
From 92 to 95?
Yeah.
With all these characters as a TV show?
Yeah, it is a television show. Good guess.
Animated?
No. Maybe a teeny bit of CGI occasionally.
Crazy. Oh, fuck. Is it Ghostwriter?
Baby! Yeah, you got it. It's Ghostwriter. I didn't think you were going to guess so quick, so now I got to pull up the other video because I have the...
Wikipedia?
No, I have the theme song right here.
Oh.
Word!
We don't know where he came from.
He just showed up one night.
What is that thing?
He's not an alien.
What is he?
We think he might be a ghost.
Be serious. He wants to be friends with us. He can't hear and he can't talk. He can read anything.
He takes letters and he writes with them.
What a new concept.
Yeah, right?
That means he wants you on the team.
You have to promise never to tell anybody.
About Ghostwriter.
Hey, cool. We're the Ghostwriter team.
We check out clues and solve mysteries.
He's a ghost and he writes to us. Ghostwriter.
I'm glad. Oh, I wasn't clear on what was... that he was a ghost that writes until that kid at the end put it so concisely.
That's great because... So it's so funny because... So Ghostwriter kicks ass. Do you watch it?
Nah.
I loved it. I watched it all
I never
the time.
liked it.
I loved it.
Once it came on, I was like, all right, time to play some Final Fantasy.
It's so good. Oh man, it's so good. But what's funny is so I got my work here.
Did you write those notes?
Yeah.
Or
I typed this all out.
just making sure you didn't use
A Ghostwriter.
Uh-huh.
Well, this is actually about that film with Jennifer Garner called Ghostwriter from 2000. Nicolas Cage on a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jennifer Garner's in that?
No, there's another movie called The Ghostwriter, which is like a period, but like a prestige film. But then there's Ghostwriter.
You mean The Prestige?
Yeah, you got it. So let me tell you, listeners. Now, Ream, you're already on board. You love this
Don't
show.
you have a Wikipedia to read?
That's right here. Ghostwriter is an American.
And your paper?
In my paper, yeah.
A paper?
I wanted to make sure. I didn't know if Ghostwriter could affect cell phones, so I wanted to make sure if he wanted to chime in, he could rearrange these letters on this paper. Ghostwriter is an American children's mystery television series created by Liz Nealon and produced by the Children's Television Workshop, now known as Sesame Workshop, and BBC. It began airing on PBS on October 4th, 1992, and the final episode aired on February 12th, 1995. The series revolves around a close-knit circle of friends from Brooklyn who solve neighborhood crimes and mysteries as a team of young detectives with the help of an invisible ghost named Ghostwriter. Ghostwriter can communicate with the kids only by manipulating whatever texts and letters he finds, using them to form words and sentences. The series was filmed on location in Fort Greene, Brooklyn. That's like not far from here.
No.
Not at all. That's very close.
They got the monolisk.
Yeah. What's a monolisk?
One lisk.
Oh, okay. It was designed to help teach reading skills, writing skills, and help improve elementary and middle school kids' learning ability. Now, I watched this show, loved it. I love everybody involved. I know it was a PBS show, but I didn't realize how actually school related it was until I rewatched. I rewatched a bunch of episodes last night.
The bastards tricked you, didn't
They did. They tricked me into learning. What'd you know? I hate that.
Yeah.
No, did you? So you never saw him? You never watched it? That's crazy.
Nope. It had nothing to do with Ghostwriter,
No.
which already like upset me.
And I wasn't aware of Ghostwriter. I wasn't aware of the comic book fella yet. So
Yeah,
to
and
me,
it's like just-
this is the original.
It's not even I don't know, maybe the disembodied ghost
Yeah.
was kind of lame too,
Well-
where it's like, oh, now we just get some letters flying
It's
around.
kind of heartbreaking because so what's fun is then that
Do you ever find out what Ghostwriter is?
Well, we do.
Do we get some
Backstory?
I want some canon.
So the first what's funny is that so the way Ghostwriter worked is there was 76 episodes, or 74 episodes, but there was only 18
Who
stories.
wrote them?
Like a handful of writers, one of them being Kermit Frazier, who went on to write
Kermit the Frazier?
Yeah, Kermit the Frazier, who went on to write for Gullah Gullah Island and shows like that. But what's crazy is so there's 74 episodes, but there's only 18 stories. So every story would be like 4 to 5 episodes long.
No.
So you get tricked into watching literally last night I was like, I think I'll watch the pilot. That's fucking 6 episodes for that whole story. And what's funny is the theme song, which isn't on the pilot, but it's not on the first 5 episodes.
Is that what you played?
The thing I played was the theme song, but all those little quotes, that's basically just everything that happens in the pilot.
Yeah.
So that they have all the, you know what I mean? Like all
Always
the
interesting
information.
how they do that on the credits.
Yeah. Like sometimes when you see I was always thrown away as a kid when you'd watch Full House and like the pilot episode had the opening credits.
Yeah.
But it had stuff that didn't happen until like episode 9 or something, you know? That was
And
always
it's
weird.
always great, because you have this like, at least for me growing up, I had this completionist thing.
Yeah.
Going with TV shows.
Oh, yeah.
So when every once in a while you'd get to see the one they'd show the pilot episode or
Mm-hmm.
whatever episode from Married with Children had like all of the opening credit bits.
Yeah,
in it.
yeah,
And all
yeah.
of a sudden you see it and you're like,
Oh,
yeah. I remember
there
they
it
did
is.
that with Chip and Dale.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, because you see these intros over and over all the time. And you're like, I want to see when Chip and Dale have to get tied together and walk a plank on a sword.
Totally.
And then finally one day they fucking throw you that bone and you're like, it's the one from the credits.
Yeah. And what this does is, so their opening is more of it's almost like an SNL-y style, where it's like them on the street
They're
and then they
doing
look at the camera.
Political
Like a lot of Bernie
impressions.
stuff. Yeah. Baldwin's on it doing Trump. But then whenever they would, the sound bites you heard, like when you hear Jamal be like,
We had
he's
a lot
a ghost and he writes to us, Ghostwriter. That's all from the first 5 episodes.
We had a lot of sound bites on that fun size we did with Gideon.
I thought they lost all their. Oh yeah, because we were eating a lot. I'm surprised we didn't get any hate for that.
Not yet.
Not yet. It's only been out a couple weeks.
As the time of recording.
I'm surprised we didn't get any hate for losing Surge out in that fucker. That's honestly.
Hey, it surged into the Elite Eight.
I let you said that joke like every time Surge did well too. But anyways, okay, so you asked a little bit about wanting to know the history of Ghostwriter.
Yeah.
So in the first,
not the show, but the guy.
Yeah. So in the first,
sorry to assume
it is a male.
Of course.
In the first, of course, in the first episode when he first presents himself, so he was in a book. So Samuel L. Jackson,
He presented himself.
he did. He showed his cock.
Canceled.
Yeah.
No wonder.
Canceled. So Jamal, who was always I identified with the most, he's the one you see first and everything like that. Even though he's weirdly not considered the star, but he is the one you see the most.
Did they have that Air Supply song about him?
What's that?
Jamal out of love.
Oh, that's fun. Jamal's the actor that played him.
Sorry.
His name was Sheldon Turnipseed, and I thought it was so crazy that somebody's last name would be Turnipseed. But I guess it's like a common last name. But his dad in the series is played by Samuel L. Jackson. And Samuel L. Jackson in 1992 or whatever was not as big of a star. So like,
Yeah, you can completely. There's one point that completely changes Samuel L. Jackson's career.
Pulp Fiction?
And that happens in 1994.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Because at that time he'd just done.
He was a guest in like a bunch of Spike Lee movies.
He gets killed in the beginning of True Romance at the cocaine.
Oh yeah, that's right.
At the cocaine deal,
Well, that's what happened in Ghostwriter. He gets killed in a cocaine deal.
He tries to rob the McDowell's restaurant.
Oh, that's right. In Coming to America. Yeah.
And he's also Emilio Estevez's partner in National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1.
There's some joke where like his character's name is like Black Guy in like 7 movies or something early on in his career. But it's funny though. So So that's his dad, and so that's what happens is in the pilot episode, the very first episode, episode 1, Jamal's older sister's going away to college, so they're down in the basement trying to get this trunk. When they do that, this old-timey book falls on the floor, and Ghostwriter flies out of it. And Ghostwriter is a little CGI. It's like a little circle
Letters.
with some like no, like the actual. He has like a being too. It's like a little circle with like 3 like almost asterisk. Almost looks like a Wi-Fi logo or something like that. It looks like it would be a logo today. And he flies out of this old-timey book, right? And then when he first shows him...
All books are old-timey,
when
Patrick.
he first shows himself to Jamal, who's the first one to see him, Jamal got his sister who's moving to college gave her his computer. So in his computer he writes like Jamal kicks ass or something like that. And then
Jamal has to enter the number 4, 15,
yeah, totally, yeah.
16.
But then Ghostwriter rearranges the letters and is like, help me, where are the children? Help me. And it's kind of scary. And then later, another girl, Lenny, sees him. And when she sees him, she's like, what's your story? So they start asking Ghostwriter about his story. And he just he doesn't understand what a computer is. So they don't know his history. He says he's lost and he's scared, but he will agree to help them as long as they write to him, and then he'll help them solve these crimes eventually. But this is at the very beginning. But years later, in 2010, Kermit Frazier, the writer, he said that Ghostwriter was the ghost of a runaway slave during the American Civil War, and he had taught other slaves how to read and was killed by slave catchers and their dogs. His soul was then kept in that book, and he was a distant relative of Jamal. Or at least the book was given to a distant relative of Jamal. But when he was trapped inside that book, his soul was. And now when that book opened up in the first episode, he was released, but he thinks he doesn't understand what's happening either. To him, he's just kind of been like asleep or whatever since the 1860s. And so that's why he knows about Brooklyn, he knows about New York, but he doesn't know about like modern day Brooklyn or New York or anything.
Yeah.
And so it's got a kind of a dark, but also like Ghostwriter is empowering, which is funny because that's obviously they never put that in the show. You know, that was like they're going off, but like he's also like a corny, goofy dude. So it's like kind of cool that this runaway slave liked slapsticky jokes and stuff like that all the time too, you know?
Well, you got to keep the mood light somehow.
Totally, yeah. And the show is very funny. It has a lot of fun jokes, a lot of like that, like slapstick, a lot of pop culture references. It was a PBS show, so I think maybe they could get away with more stuff. Like with the X-Men, they play the X-Men arcade game and they talk about Wolverine and they talk about the X-Men and stuff. They talk about Michael Jordan a lot. They talk about like pop culture stuff all the time. And then through Ghostwriter, he just helps them solve these mysteries. And it's all like school-based mysteries. It's a lot of stuff like, somebody's going to be cheating on a test or somebody's framing somebody else for cheating on a test.
Oh, why you got to be
Something
haters, Ghostwriter? Just let him.
Well, it's not like somebody's cheating, let's find out who's cheating. It's somebody's cheating and they framed Alex, and now Alex is going to get in a lot of trouble for it. Who's framing Alex? And then they go figure that out. And then it's also a lot of local Fort Greene, Brooklyn things like this one bodega is getting shut down because people are saying this is happening there and it's really not, and so they're going to try to figure it out so they can save the bodega from getting shut down. Really, it's just a big like a company wants to put in apartments or something.
Barclays Center.
Totally, yes, it's shit like that. The second storyline in the show is the dad from Alf, Willie, who's apparently a real piece of shit. He runs a video store, and people are stealing his videos and stealing his equipment, and he's upset about it. Right. And so then it's 5 episodes of them trying to do research, and then at the end they find out that it was him the whole time, that he was doing all the stealing because he was afraid the FBI was going to come after him because he was doing the thing where you hook 2 VCRs up and you tape the videos. He was selling bootleg VHS tapes.
It sucks.
And he thought the FBI was after him.
It sucks finding out people suck.
Yeah. That guy was supposed to be terrible.
Like, it's kind of funny, dawned on me yesterday that if you're watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
yeah,
it's I hope that actor played by the guy who killed somebody can get away from the guy who's a pedophile.
Pedophile, yeah, totally. And I hope that he make some time to get to class with that guy who's a fucking was a game show guy, but now is like a crazy right wing Trump supporter.
Oh yeah, Ben Stein.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, how
hey, Ferris Bueller's canceled.
What's all this? How can you be right wing when you used to just give people your money.
Yeah. Hey, I think we can all agree the real winner of Ben Stein's money was Jimmy
Kimmel?
Kimmel, right? That guy fucking kicks ass.
I mean, he's all right. I like Kimmel okay.
You don't love him?
I don't love
Oh,
him.
I like him a lot. I think he's great. He's got good politics. He does good stuff, and he uses his voice in good ways. Speaking of using your voice in good ways, I wanted to
Has
bring
he done
up.
any voice work?
I'm sure. I feel like he was probably in like Shark Tale 2.
I know. Who's this other guy? Adam Carolla.
Oh yeah, that guy. And maybe
he did the voice in Drawn Together.
Oh yeah, I remember that show.
Remember
Weird.
that show?
I'm not a big Corolla head, but I do like a
I
Kimmel.
drove one before.
I love a Corolla.
I like
Toyota.
the fact that he did construction and comedy.
I don't like the fact that he tells people to stop following their dreams because we need plumbers. It's like, if everybody wants to be a writer or a comedian, then how are we going to have plumbers?
Why not both?
Yeah, why can't you be both? Or why do you've made it. I don't know. We need to talk about Corolla.
We got plenty of plumbers.
Okay, so I'm going to read you some of the episode titles. Okay. Now remember, these are 4 or 5 episode long titles, but these are the story titles. There's Who Burned Mr. Brinker's Store, To Catch a Creep, Into the Comics, Building Bridges, Who is Max Mouse? We'll never know. Don't Stop the Music, What's Up, Alex? A Crime in 2 Cities, 4 Days of the Cockatoo, and Attack of the Slime Monster. So they had this like fun, almost like a what's that show called? Are You Afraid of the Dark? Mm-hmm. It was like that. It was a lot of like interesting little stories like that, where each one was like a crime scene, and it wasn't corny like 3, 2, 1 Contact, where like, look at the screen. What is the thing? It was like this was an actual story they were trying to figure out.
Can we reboot it into a film franchise?
I would love to. I would love to reboot Ghostwriter. I think they did a new Ghostwriter series in like the late 90s, and it didn't really take off. Mm-hmm. And then the BBC radio or something like that, there's an audio version that came out in like 2006 with all the same characters. I want to talk to you about this characters. Okay. Do you remember any of the characters on the show? Fuck you.
T.
Do you remember any of their names or anything about them?
I didn't watch.
You never watched a single episode?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, there's Jamal, who I've already mentioned. His dad was Sam Jackson. His grandma is Marcella Lowry, she was a mail woman or a mail letter carrier, and you might remember her from the Cosby Show. She was Eldon's mom on the Cosby Show. You remember her? Curly hair, really like sassy and fucking hilarious. Great jokes. And so he was kind of like a little, not like upper, like they lived in like a nice townhome, basically. Then there's Lenny, who was, a big crush I had on her, played by an actress named, Blaise Berdal, not to be confused with Bo Bergadal, the United States Army soldier who was held captive from 2009 to 2014 by the Taliban. They're different people. But she was a rapper and her dad was a jazz musician, and there's a lot of very great cringy scenes of this like 10-year-old girl rapping. Oh. But like almost like, we gotta save the city because that's what we gotta do. That's how we help each other. It's important. There's a lot of like corny shit like that.
I love bad rap.
Me too.
Bad forced 90s
I
rap.
literally was like fast forwarding through these little scenes where she's doing that.
I want to go and like, there's a lot of, rapping involved with public service,
Public Enemy,
like PDAs. I'm talking.
Oh yeah.
Like all those commercials that are on in between your Saturday morning cartoon.
Well, there's also that
all
now.
Of a sudden,
still,
somebody's trying to rap about how you shouldn't smoke drugs.
They still have that now with like
and you shouldn't be racist.
Cars for Gold will have a weird rap or whatever, like they still do those corny weird raps. That's the thing it's never a good sign when your fast food restaurant has a commercial with a white rapper in it. Like Taco Bell did that. Another one is doing that now.
I mean, a lot of fast foods have white rappers.
For sure, because they got to keep their burgers clean in the bag.
The yellow ones are for cheese and whites for hamburger.
Okay, I'm going to burn through these. Oh, and also you personally might remember Lenny, because he
always got stuff in his eyes.
She's the little girl in Pet Sematary, the original Pet Sematary. Ugh. The daughter.
Don't bring that up.
Sorry, man. Then we have Alex, and so Lenny.
Some things are left better buried.
Lenny lives in a apartment with her jazz dad, above Alex and Gabby's dad's bodega. So they have a bodega. Alex and Gabby are brother and sister. Alex is great at solving mysteries. Gabby's the youngest, and everybody on the team loves her. But she was recast in the second season. Tina is Gabby's best friend. She's Vietnamese. Alex has a huge crush on her, and she works for the school paper. And during the series, there's an episode where she takes improv classes, so that's fun.
Nice.
Yeah. That's the original 5. Those ones, they all hang out all the time. Then eventually,
What are their powers?
flight, seeing into the future. Nah, basically,
What kind of flight? Of fancy?
yeah, they can just talk to this ghost. That'll be like,
Right.
oh, hey, I saw somebody write the sentence. I'm going to kill that person. And then they're
I
like,
like
well,
that.
let's figure it out.
I have the power of flight.
I used to
fancy.
I used to want Ghostwriter to be real. I used to like
Beast.
literally I'd write down on pieces of paper like, Ghostwriter, can you see this? Because I wanted it to be real so bad.
Mm-hmm.
When they all wanted to talk, because this was before cell phones and like even like AOL wasn't a thing. So if they all needed to get together fast, they would write rally something on a piece of paper. So like if it was Alex, it'd be rally A. If it was Lenny, they'd be rally L. And then Ghostwriter would read that and then show it to everybody. So you'd be walking down the street and you'd see a sign that said like, no parking in this alley. And then all the letters would rearrange to say rally L. And then Alex would be like, oh fuck, I got to get to Lenny's house, you know? And that's kind of like a quick way to get in touch with each other when you don't have walkie-talkies or cell phones or anything. Eventually more people jump on board. Rob, who was kind of a upper crusty, but like a real loner. But then he moves to Australia, so that was the first time they had to deal with a loss. Hector,
Lost?
the television
He
show.
was in Australia?
He was on the plane. Hector, who was great, who was a friend of Gabby. Hector later went on to, I don't know that guy's name, but
Gotta
he
love these PBS shows that are all based out of New York and
Yeah.
everything. And then they just keep it in the urban environment and be like, it's very multicultural.
Oh, totally. And that's one thing this show did for sure, is everybody's represented, and like not token either. Maybe if somebody was smarter than me could do this and be like, well, of course they're doing this because they're the black character or they're the Asian character. But I didn't see that. Growing up as a kid in Iowa where there wasn't a lot of this around me, I was just like, oh, these guys were just all the same. And I'm getting exposed to this. Hector went on to be on the actor that played him was later on The Real World Philadelphia. And on the show, I remember him being like, I was a child star. I was on Ghostwriter. And even everybody on the show's like, we don't know what the fuck that is. And then
that must have been like the really real world.
totally. Other guest stars.
Philadelphia?
Oh, I got you. Yeah. I see. I told you all the guest stars are on at the top, right? All those people that were on the show. Other guest stars are on the show was, that I thought was of note was Julia Stiles. Remember her from Saving
Yeah.
You know? She's on 6 episodes and she plays this bad girl named Erica Dansby who
Plays a good bad girl.
she has a nose ring and they
Oh,
think
yeah.
she's the bad, she's a hacker and they think she's the bad person in the episode. They think she's the bad guy, but she's not. They judged her because she's a hacker and she wears a nose ring, but she really wasn't. And then my favorite weird reference from this episode when I was doing research about Ghostwriter is that the principal of their school, Principal Kelly, is played by the actress and singer Ellen Foley. Do you know who Ellen Foley is?
No.
I only know her from the reference in the Hold Steady song, certain songs where they say, B1 is for the good girls, and it's only the good die young. C9 is for the making eyes, and it's Paradise by the Dashboard Light. B12 is for the speeders, and D4 is for the lovers. And the hard drugs are for the bartenders and the kitchen workers and the bartenders' friends. And they're playing it again, and Ellen Foley gives us hope. And certain songs, they're scratched into our soul. Ellen Foley is the girl singing in Paradise by the Dashboard Light with Meatloaf.
Oh.
Yeah. It's so like, this is how weird life is I'm like doing research about fucking Ghostwriter for this dumb episode. And I'm like, Ellen Foley, isn't that in a fucking Hold Steady song? And then I start reading and then I just listen to Paradise by the Dashboard Light for like half an hour. So that's insane, right?
Oh, so you only listened to half of the song?
Yeah, I listened to the first 15 seconds, the first 15%. But yeah, goddamn, that's, let's see, I had one other thing that I thought was kind of interesting about it. Do you have any questions?
No.
You gotta add something.
I have. I've had quips.
You're right, you have. Was there anything you were curious about since you never watched the show? Was there anything you were interested in?
No.
What a dud of an episode. I really thought I had something here.
Yeah? I thought we've had a good one
It is good.
so far. I just don't know shit about shit
Yeah.
on the Ghostwriter front.
It was really interesting to see all of the Brooklyn and New York like references and stuff like that. Especially,
Retroactively?
yeah, now that I live here and stuff like that. And I would constantly do that. I'd see like them walking through a park, and then I would Google what that park looks like today. And it's gentrified and stuff because it's Fort Greene or whatever. But it is cool. Well, that park is still there, and that weird statue thingy is still there and stuff like that.
Oh, so it's not a bunch of studio shots? They're actually like going on like location.
Oh,
and doing
totally.
A lot of the shit?
Because it's shot that's why the show had to end, was because they didn't have a budget. They shot the whole thing on a shoestring budget. So like it's constantly just on the streets. They had a few sets probably, and that's why I was wondering, because Spike Lee is in an episode. I didn't see the episode, but he's in an episode. And I know that his, what is it? Two Mules, whatever, his production company is somewhere in that, it's in like Red Hook area and stuff like that. And so I'm wondering if that's like part of him like just raising Brooklyn film in the 90s, was him like being in an episode or something like that, you know? Because like Sesame Street's filmed in Long Island City or whatever, but it's like all filmed on sets. Everything's a set.
Oh, yeah. Well, it has to be.
Yeah, but this, they're
Got all the Muppets.
they're walking and you see like fucking just random people behind them walking and who don't know a TV show is being filmed and stuff. And it's like kind of cool, like indie. It's almost like indie film, but it's like 92, and they're talking about like, did you see those bad guys at the arcade? You know? But I really loved it, and I literally last night I watched 5 episodes in a row without even like missing a beat. I still think
Never any like rival ghosts? Or any explanation on how he became the ghost?
never in the
that
show.
He was just like a runaway.
Every once in a while, they would get the he was a runaway slave, not a runaway. That makes him sound like he was just some kid that wanted to smoke cigarettes in his parents' basement. There wasn't anything like that. They're big. They all had this adversary. It was this kid named Calvin Ferguson, and his family owned the local party supply store. He received top grades in the class. But he was like a braggart and kind of a shitty kid. So he was kind of like, do you remember Pup Named Scooby-Doo?
Oh, yeah.
Remember Red Herring?
No.
Red Herring was, well, obviously, he's who Fred always thought was the bad guy, because he was a shitty bully kid, you know?
Yeah.
And this was kind of where they're always like, I bet Craig's involved, or Calvin's
That is
involved.
funny that they would just call him Red Herring.
Yeah, that was his actual character's name, was Red Herring. And he had like red hair and stuff. But there's that, there's some interesting episodes where like time travel kind of plays in it, and I don't remember the specifics, but I couldn't find this episode. But there is one episode where they end up talking to like older people who knew of Ghostwriter when they were a kid, who like Ghostwriter talked to them.
Is negative Ghostwriter, that phrase,
Yeah.
is that from the show at all?
No, isn't that from that's from Top Gun, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
I think Ghostwriter is maybe I'm 100% wrong, but I thought Ghostwriter
No,
was
Ghost is just the name of a pilot, but I don't think that's from Top Gun.
I thought it was. Okay, well, while we're playing with this, I'm going to Google that and just get a see if I can get you a good example. I was going to try to see, so what I wanted to do when I started thinking of this episode was I was going to do one of those episodes where we watch the episode and talk about it. But since these shows are 5 fucking every story is 5 episodes long, it would be impossible for us to do it that way. Okay, the tower controller replies, negative Ghostwriter, the pattern is full. What's this from?
what?
I don't know, I'm looking. What does the phrase negative Ghostwriter, the pattern is full mean? The movie Top Gun, Maverick is a U.S. Navy pilot flying a F-14 Tomcat. At the beginning of the movie, Maverick is flying in his aircraft and will be landing. He radios the control tower. Tower, this is Ghostwriter requesting a flyby. He is then told, negative Ghostwriter, the pattern is full.
Huh.
So, yeah. So, there we go. I wonder if they said it in the show at some point. You know,
better.
like as a fun... like I said, there is pop culture references. They talk about... Oh,
Yeah.
also,
Count-
Nike was a big sponsor of the show. Nike was one of the producers, basically, as a way to, like, give back to, like, learning and shit like that. And so every episode started with, like, a cool Nike logo. And then they would all, like, all these kids, they all had, like, nice Nikes. They'd wear, like, Nike jackets sometimes and shit like that.
Yeah, I think the show got syndicated too.
Yeah.
Because it was educational. Because I
Yeah.
can remember watching it not on
PBS?
PBS.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's one of those things that I never know about, because I only know of it as a PBS show.
Yeah.
And it would be on in the afternoons, like around the same time that like Who's the Boss rerun would be on or something like that. But I liked it. I identified with so many characters on it. It really, because they're all my age-ish, you know?
Was this the first time you rewatched it at all?
Yeah. And I watched, like I said, 5 episodes, so I really got into it. Jamal is who I saw eye to eye with the most because I felt like we were very similar. I liked Alex. Alex was like kind of a cool guy, but he was like good looking and cool, but he also wasn't
anybody with an X in their name is like 5%
you got it. Yeah,
cooler
totally.
than anybody else in the room.
I had such a crush on Lenny. I had a crush on Gabby, even though she was supposed to be like a year younger. The first Gabby. I don't know about the second Gabby. What's her name? I'm pulling her name. Tina. I liked her a lot because she was like performative, so she wanted to be an actress. She did improv and stuff. So I liked that because that's what, she was she wasn't necessarily a class clown, but she was a drama queen kind of, and that's kind of, I saw that. That's what I was like. So yeah, I liked all that. I guess that's my thoughts.
Nice.
You have no final retort, no final questions?
I've had them.
We got them all out there. That's good. Well, I feel like we did that as well. Getting to talk about Ghostwriter, it's as well as we ever would have.
Yeah.
God damn. Where can the listeners? I beat the alarm.
You did. It's all right. It's only by like 3 minutes.
3 minutes. I know. I was trying to stretch it for it, but I'm like, who fucking cares?
Did they ever do crosswords? I think it'd be great. Like
they did do.
Probably just sitting around, people doing the Sunday Times with Ghostwriter. Like Ghostwriter, what's 4-letter word for hat?
They did ask him if he'd help him cheat on tests, and he was like, I don't really want to do that, basically. He was just like, no. And he's like, he can help us with math problems. And they're like, only word problems. And then they laugh. But yeah, and Lenny's like, he could read my books for me and write a book report. That was what was cool about him, was you could you take a book, and he could like read it so quick, and then you could just ask him questions and be like, sum this up. And he'd be like,
ever talk?
Blah, blah, blah. No, he never spoke. He was always in the writing, and he'd need something to like. So like he would need a magazine on the floor so that he could pull letters from that magazine to write, and then they'd hover in the air. And then every once in a while, some random ass person, like when Rob first sees him, they don't know Rob's gonna see him, so they're just like, "Oh fuck, what the hell,"
They say that?
Yeah, they're like, "Kid, fuck, piss, go,
cocksucker."
Yeah, and then they do that Carlin bit. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's it. I'm glad. Yeah, and I actually think I might keep watching it because it's a very real nostalgia feel that I get from it.
Good.
I loved that Alex and Gabby's room because their parents had the bodega. They lived above the bodega and had this cool ass bedroom. You never really see the rest of their house, but then above that was where Lenny lived. So they all kind of were in the same building. And when you're living in Iowa, you don't have any fucking reference point for that,
No.
Like literally your friend
I don't
lives
know.
I didn't, at least. Not in a
I've
small
lived
town.
in an apartment before.
Yeah, but not when I didn't when I was a little kid, I
You
guess.
just
That
go
was
down
not
the
a
hall and play Super Nintendo with that kid.
Yeah, see, that would be awesome. I never had that experience.
Well, you had cows.
Oh yeah, that's right. None of these fuckers had cows. Goddamn, where can the listeners find you on the old internet?
Reamcore.
REAMKORE?
That's Reamcore with a K on your Instagrams and your Facebooks and everything like that. Also, check out House of Bricks Comedy.
Yeah, baby.
On all those same platforms. It'll be at Precious Metals in Brooklyn the second Friday of every month. It's a great time. So that's about it from me. Patrick, why don't you tell everybody?
You can follow me at Patrick Hasty. That's at PATRICKHASTIE, PatrickHasty.com for all upcoming shows and dates. In about a week, I'll be in Minneapolis at the Comedy Corner Underground. Please, go buy tickets to that. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be special and great and cool. Thanks to everybody who came out to the Week of the Creek last week. Obviously, I said that on Monday, but I still mean it. It was really fun. Go get on the Patreon. Thanks for struggling through us. We're almost to our 100th episode.
100.
Monday.
Yeah.
Monday is our 100th episode. That's fucking insane.
100th episodes.
And then next 1 week from today, our 100th fun size. Can you believe it?
No.
I cannot.
No.
At all.
What a bunch of content.
Yeah. So, as always, you guys are doing great with that. Hit that Patreon. We're almost there, 100 by 100. If you guys want to do it,
we wouldn't even be here without.
You would have to
Patreon.
really fucking amp it up. We'd have to get like 9 people in right now. But that's great. All right. Tell your friends. Be cool. Never die. And as always, remember, if you're not an NFer,
you're an MFer. So
get the fuck out of here. Rally NF.
Welcome to BrainMachineNetwork.com.